Today we're making crostinis with cranberry and goat cheese, or chèvre is also another pronunciation of that in French. And we're going to make the cranberry sauce first and then move on to the crostinis. I'll tell you a little bit more about that later. So anyway, you throw in cranberries. You can use fresh or frozen in a pot. Adding sugar, cinnamon stick, water. I always like to add a little bit of salt because I love salt. I'm going to zest an orange and set it aside for later. This is a navel orange and it's super sweet. It doesn't have any seeds, but the skin doesn't look beautiful. This might just be a particular one, but if you want a really pretty orange zest garnish, then buy an orange for that. But the navels are really nice. You get a lot of juice from them. So squeeze the orange juice in it and get it all in there, and then you're going to cover it and bring it to a boil for about 10 to 12 minutes. You're going to audibly hear this popping on the stove top. When it's done, it's going to thicken up. If it thickens too fast, you can add water in like a tablespoon, 2 tablespoon increments. Or if it's too thin, just take off the cover and burn off a little bit of heat. But it will thicken as it cools. This is super easy. You'll never go back to canned cranberry relish once you do this. So you can see that that's visually, it popped. So you can see it thickening on the bottom with a spoon, and I'm going to call that done and set that aside and let it cool. Because crostinis are, you can serve hot stuff on them, but they're generally served cool. Unlike bruschetta, bruschetta is kind of hot and larger bread, and crostini is a little Italian toast, and it's served cool. So anyway, take the cinnamon stick out. You can garnish it with orange zest now, or you can put the orange zest on the crostinis, your choice. But we'll move over to slicing up a baguette. And a baguette, you can usually get about 30 slices from a regular size baguette. And I'm cutting it on the bias here, and what that means is just diagonal, and it gives you more surface area to work with. So your crostinis can be a little bit larger and you don't have all these little rounds. Take some olive oil. You can either baste it from a bowl, or I like to give it an initial run through with olive oil, and then I'll take a baster. And then I'll add a little bit more olive oil if it needs it. Salt and pepper, switch the sides, and do it again. And pop that in the oven at 350 for 8 to 10 minutes. You don't want it to brown. A lot of websites will tell you let it brown, but you want the roof of your mouth to stay intact. It just needs to be warm and crunchy. So that's perfect. You're going to set that aside, let it cool, and then you can keep it in a Ziploc bag for a couple of days. Crack the bag so a little bit air comes in and out, and that just gives it so it's not too soft, not too hard. So just a couple sprigs of rosemary leaves and chop that up. And these are pretty fresh from my garden, so the stems are actually soft too. Anyway, chop that up and set it aside. And then just take your crostinis and slather with some goat cheese and do it at room temperature. Mine wasn't room temperature. Don't do as I say. Don't do as I do. Do as I say. So put the goat cheese on there at room temperature so it's easy to spread, and then add the cranberry relish, and then you'll garnish it with the fresh rosemary, and it's beautiful. It's poppin'. You're gonna have this great holiday appetizer or a snack. You can find the recipe on eatsimplefood.com.